whole family.
We got the whole family. We got everyone back together. Nicole is here. Nicole, we missed you.
I know. I've been MIA.
Oh my God. Well, this is Eric. I'm here with Anthony, Shayna, and Nicole. We've been going for what, 2 weeks? I've been going for longer, for about 3 weeks.
The show's been gone for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're back. We're back after a long hiatus, at least for myself. I feel like I haven't seen y'all in a minute.
Considering coming last weekend, and it ended up just being you and Shayna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was a great show, though.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was before I went to Vegas.
I was so drunk.
you was drunk.
Whatever.
Yep.
We've all been there. I've been there. I have not seen it yet.
I was there last night. I was drunk. Oh my God, I couldn't. Yeah, it was a mess. Yeah, so much stuff is going on, like just in the world in the past 2 or 3 weeks, that we're gonna have a long show. It's gonna be. It's still
gonna be an hour.
It's gonna be an hour, but it's gonna be
long.
packed with a lot of stuff in this hour.
It's gonna be fast paced.
I mean, where do we start?
Government shutdown. Let's just get current events.
Yeah, let's get into this unfortunate reality of our life. Our commander in chief is continuously lowering the bar as a president. The government has partially shut down as of yesterday, 2 days ago, and so now people like in TSA, we have people who are Homeland Security who are now they're not out of jobs. They're still working, but they're working and not getting paid. And this could have been resolved a while ago. So essentially, he wanted $5 billion for this border wall. There was a legislation hopefully put into action that they tried to vote on, where they would have funded, I think, $1 billion, but he decided not to sign it. He wanted the full $5 billion. And the Democrats are like, no, we're not doing it. And so the shutdown
is... he would have gotten anything. Like,
yeah. Seriously. I mean, they're trying to appease him just so that the government continue to stay open. But he's kind of stubborn, as we know. And so now the government has been shut down for 2 days, and people aren't going to be getting paid for the work they're doing over the holiday. And I couldn't imagine being a TSA agent, and you're here during the holidays and not getting paid for it. I would be disgusted. And so this is definitely a sad turn of events. But this is just one of the many things that happened. So Trump has decided to pull out of Afghanistan and Syria.
Yeah.
And a bunch of the established Republicans are kind of upset about this because, a lot of neocons believe in, sort of being in places and sort of being a global, I guess, moral, army. Who knows? And so people are upset on different sides. And he also lost one of his generals. So General Mattis, who was a part of his, the defense, Secretary of Defense, has decided to leave. He resigned. I think it was going to be effective February 1st, but I think Trump just fired him immediately.
Things are getting testy.
Yeah, things are getting testy. So how do y'all feel right now? Like, what is the environment feeling like for you all personally?
I mean, even if impeachment happens, it's still a scary thought because then you got to deal with Pence.
I know.
I don't know.
If he doesn't get impeached, he's gonna win. I think he's gonna win.
I don't think so. I mean, but look at the economy is horrible. Stock market is at its lowest rate since they said the Great Depression. It's a pretty tough time for a lot of people. It's a lot of uncertainty going on out here, and I feel that it's definitely hitting his base just as much as it's hitting everyone else. And I think they're gonna turn on him. I got a feeling. I feel like if he doesn't get this border wall sort of pushed, that's the last straw, and I think people are gonna turn. And so I think I'm just ready for him to go. I think it's just feel like I'm in a soap opera for the past 2.5 years. And at this point, I'm just like, we need to do something to move forward as a country and sort of get over this current era of politics. It's just too much. A lot.
Well, it's the holiday time, so, that might bring some cheer to some people that's been feeling down.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes it does.
I do want to
But what makes you think that we deserve anything like other than Trump as a country?
Deserve?
I mean, I think it was...
Trump is the president that we deserve as a country. He's overweight, stupid, racist.
Now we're being self-deprecating. I don't know, man.
He pretty much sums up America.
Yeah,
This conversation's just a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. Nicole's back.
All right, let's get some.
She came with the
all
turn
It's
up.
the holidays.
All right,
okay?
I got it. But current
spread
events,
the love.
current events are always kind of a bummer.
I mean,
I
hate Christmas. I'm going to have.
I do gotta ask
Oh no, I'm miserable.
I do not
getting
like
ready
Christmas.
for it, but
So you're the Grinch. I do gotta add something though. So a couple of other things kind of big happened. So did anyone see the wrestler who was forced to cut off his dreads?
I saw that.
Yeah,
What do y'all think about that?
it's unfair. But what was the reason?
I don't. So the ref has a history of doing some
Being
racist
a
stuff.
racist, he called another ref at a company gallery a nigger, and he said that he was drunk and he apologized to him for being drunk. He didn't remember saying it, but
That's
the
not
thing
an
was,
excuse.
the thing was, he said his hair was too long, but he
And it
usually
wasn't.
wrestles with a cap.
Right.
And they said that the cap that he had was unacceptable, so he either had to cut his hair or they forfeited the match.
So that was the party line. His hair was too long.
But his hair, he had dreads, but his dreads weren't that long. It's not like it was
Right,
like
right.
down to his shoulders or something.
Maybe it was just like a safety thing.
But my thing is this.
I mean, the ref didn't handle it correctly at all.
I don't think it's a safety thing.
I'm not a coach, but I'm around kids all the time. You have to stand up for the children that are in your care. And as a coaching staff, you're supposed to be like, we're just going to take the L.
Yeah.
Because that he was humiliated.
You can
Even
tell.
though he won the match, he was still humiliated after they cut his hair.
In many cases, like silence is acceptance. Like the coach not fighting for the kid, or even his team.
Teammates.
I can't really blame his teammates. They're high school kids. They don't know as much. But the coach,
you know enough.
But I think the coach should have did something where he at least fought for his players.
High
Just,
schoolers knew enough to walk out of class
Yeah,
to protest gun control.
that's true. That's true. But I think it was one of those things where she shouldn't have had to make the kid make that decision. It should have been something where the coach was like, you know what? Hey, we're gonna take this L. We're gonna withdraw. But I'm standing up for my team, right?
And then the referee would have been dealt with afterwards.
Right.
Like, this is not what we're doing. You're going to be dealt with at a later date and time. I mean, he was dealt with.
Yeah.
He's banned from officiating in that district.
Yeah, but that doesn't really solve anything.
What's the other thing?
Oh, another thing. Did y'all hear about? I just saw Chris Rock trending.
Oh,
today.
that old
do?
interview.
It was an old interview he had.
See, you're not on Twitter, and you take pride in not being on Twitter,
Man, you
but you
missed
have
out.
to have your ear to the street.
It was a
I
lot.
mean,
So
that's what Facebook's for.
No,
It was an
Facebook
old-
is behind Twitter.
who was
like-
in the interview? It was Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld, Louis C.K.
Oh yeah. Louis C.K. Was it the N-word segment?
Yeah.
But this is an old
old.
interview.
This is an old interview.
It's a very
This is
old
old.
interview.
And so
but
people
it's just
getting
not
on
trending.
People getting on Chris Rock because he allowed Louis C.K. to say the N-word.
With the hard ER.
The hard ER, like nigger, like that. With the, just the whips and the chains you can hear in the background.
I saw that original special.
Yeah. And people are like, why did Jerry Seinfeld have to say this was inappropriate when Chris Rock
Should have said
should have
it.
known? Right.
Yeah.
See, I just got conflicting thoughts on it. I'm gonna stay out.
I mean, now what are your thoughts? This is what we talking about.
He loves Louis.
Let's talk about.
Louis C.K. could say the
I do.
hard ER.
I do love Louis comedy. I think so. What was he saying again? He was like, he said, "Oh, me and Ricky Gervais say it. No, me and Chris say it in public. You guys say it in private. Something like that."
It was okay.
So
Chris Rock was basically saying that Louis C.K. is like the blackest white person that I know, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a nigger."
He's really Mexican, but no. So Louis C.K. has something called an N-word bit. But go ahead.
I do have a comment on this. I mean, I have friends who are closer with, black people. And, they're close enough where they've asked, over, a drunken conversation. Can I just say the word?
No.
And I've had friends that allow it for my other friends. Like,
Oh,
I've
my
never
God.
personally asked somebody that. But I guess, the way they saw it was just to have the experience of being able to say it without any negative intent to it.
I'm gonna be the opposition.
I
of the
know,
table.
no,
I
you
know
should
I
be
am.
I'm about no, you don't say that word. It doesn't matter if it comes up in a song and you're just singing
No, you
along.
shouldn't say
It's
it.
unacceptable.
You shouldn't say it, but my thing was even with the Kevin Hart thing, it was there is such a thing as smart boundary pushing humor, which I think Louis C.K. has, and there is a joke where he uses the N-word, which I thought was, in my opinion, was smart. The joke where Kevin Hart said the gay thing was just dumb, but kind of harmless, in my opinion. So I mean, when it comes to comedy, the lines are kind of murky to me. Like if you straight up calling somebody a nigger, then no. But it's just, I don't know. I'm just the opposition at the table. I know y'all not gonna agree, man. I know.
Yeah. I'm just gonna disagree on that.
The topic's just very
I mean,
Lot
like,
It's
of
very
different-
sensitive.
I look at
yeah.
it like this: if your mama keep telling you don't touch the stove, it's hot, but you curious and touch the stove and you get burned, that's your fault. Like you.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Like
You
But
got-
my thing was there was more critique of Chris Rock for allowing them to say it than the two gentlemen that actually said it.
yes, that's what I didn't like that.
I
That's
didn't
problematic.
like
Ricky
well,
said
then
it too.
who are
Yes,
you
he
more
did say it.
offended by at the end of the day?
No, but
Chris Rock
we can't
or-
blame Chris Rock for the actions because Louis C.K. literally said it first.
Yeah.
And so he should have known better than not to say it. Like, yes, he's a comedian. Yes, he has a bit where he says the N-word, but he should know, like, this is an offensive term. Like, people may take this the wrong way.
He pushes boundaries. He does. Chris Rock pushes them too. I mean, I'm not making an excuse for him. It was bad, but I think this is reflective of the climate we're in now, where we're being more critical of the stuff we passed in, the stuff we gave a pass to in the past. Like, even though people still bring up, Eddie Murphy specials with all the negative things he said, people are not giving a pass to that anymore. So I think that's why that interview resurfaced.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it generally is a lot more of a sensitive era we're in right now. And I've noticed, like, it's trending on Twitter where, just fans of anybody will dig up things people posted 7-8 years ago and use it against them and say, oh, well, you said this 7-8 years ago, so you're a bad person for what you said that time ago. And
But my thing with the interview, this is a grown man. Even back then, he's probably maybe still in his early 50s. He knows the history of that word. He could have just said, like, oh, am I black? He could have said that. That would have been just as acceptable as, or more than acceptable than saying the N-word. So he knows the history. It's not like he was a teenage kid or something who stupidly tweeted out something. That's different. I could give that kid a pass because he just doesn't know better. But this is a grown man. So you can't really say it was in the past, it happened. Because, again, he knows what that word means, the weight of the word, and sort of just how toxic it is. So, I mean, I just agree to disagree on that one. But I know we got a lot of stuff to get into this next segment.
Wait. So what we doing? We doing Hip Hop Corner first,
Oh,
or
yeah,
Nicole's telling of her tales?
What tales?
Do you have one tale, or
I have a lot of tales.
where we want to go?
You want to go now?
All right, let's go.
All right. For the listeners who did not know, I've been MIA for the last few weeks. Thank you. And I was in Las Vegas 2 weeks ago now.
You tell me. I don't
know. I'm tired. Time mashed together at some point. It got weird. But I got to go to Vegas for my first time and as an adult, and that was really awesome. That place just leaves you speechless. You cannot believe it's just this gigantic, 10-mile long adult theme park. And you can find anything. It was very overwhelming, and I got there the first day and we kind of just went down the strip and just looked at everything and then went to bed because I didn't get till late in the evening, and Michigan and Vegas have a very different time zone.
Had to get adjusted.
I had to adjust. So we did that, and the second day I went hiking in the Valley of Fire, which was beautiful. It's just this long trail, and there's tons of gigantic just red rocks that are the size of mountains, and they all got holes in them, and I just got to go hiking and exploring for that. The third day I went to a show called Puppetry of the Penis,
Oh, God.
which was held at this erotic museum, which I'm going to be upfront right now. I am very comfortable with the human body, talking about it, different organs. Everyone has them. They all look different. Honestly, at the end of the day, of seeing one in your face, it's not going to ruin the end of it. It's just not. So the whole premise of Puppetry of the Penis is two comedians that stand on stage, and they're completely naked. And they just mush their testicles and their dicks around into different shapes and make jokes about them for a good hour in this erotic museum. Oh my God. So,
Wait, hold on. Did you pay for this, or was it?
It was on Groupon. Yeah.
Shout out to Groupon.
Yeah, Groupon,
Outings
thanks
are the
for this.
best.
It was awesome. So we go, and I was really amazed just to walk in and see all the different dicks everywhere and vaginas, before you even saw this performance.
What category is that under in Groupon?
Right.
Is that in theatrics?
I don't know.
I would say it would be.
Adult themed entertainment?
Yeah. So we got in. Of course, I got a couple drinks. I'm in Vegas. I'm going to drink.
Yep.
and we watched the show, and it was really funny. You were really comfortable with the fact that you were just staring like face to face with like two different dicks. Like you didn't feel like it anymore. Like it was like they were just playing with Play-Doh and like just making jokes by the end of it. But afterwards, we snuck in the upper part of the museum that wasn't open anymore, and I definitely saw a lot of different like dick sculptures. There was like one room where they were just like playing porn on like multiple televisions. And I was like, where the fuck am I right now?
That should be a Black Mirror episode.
It was so trippy. So, I do recommend that show. It was a very good time. It was, it's very different, and it was a good deal. So, and we did a lot of different things. I'm not a huge gambler, so I didn't gamble. I did more of like just enjoying the dispensaries and then people watching for the most part in Vegas. We went to.
You watched people?
Oh yeah,
That's
you
all
got
you-
people
that's all you
watching
can do.
Vegas. There's a lot of.
People watch at the grocery store.
For real.
I mean,
Walmart?
like we would go to like a 7-Eleven.
Why do you hate Walmart, man?
Tell the people there are interesting, man.
Yeah,
You have to people watch.
There's like books based on people who go to Walmart.
All right. So you people watched. What else happened? I didn't mean to cut you off.
We went to an EDM concert one evening, and I don't know if any of you are familiar with Nicky Romero.
Nope.
He's a bigger EDM artist. He's really good at mixing songs and like working with more of poppy artists that are kind of popular. So we got to see him DJ at the Wynn, and it was like in front of like this pool, and you had to dress all nice. It was like super bougie. I got to be like front row, and they like spewed glitter everywhere. And I remember
balloon.
coming back and just like picking like shards of like plastic gold out of my hair and off my shoes. But that was an amazing experience. I spent $60 on 2 Bud Lights and 2 shots there. Yeah.
Gotta bring it's BYOB. Gotta bring your own beer.
Well, and that's what you can do. You can just literally be driving in your car or walking on the strip anywhere, like around there, and no one cares.
Oh, see, I gotta go to Vegas.
Nobody cares. So honestly, Vegas is just one huge 4-day drunken party.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it was for me. I got to see a lot of different things. I mean, we saw the fountains at the Bellagio, which was beautiful. And none of you are friends with me on Snapchat, but
I don't have Snapchat.
there was this running joke because I posted everything I did. Like, there's videos of me, like, just sloppily, like, rolling around a stripper pole at some point.
I love how she threw shade like none of you are friends with me on Snapchat.
None
But
of you
let
are
me-
my friends.
Let me get back with this story here.
Whatever.
I don't have Snapchat.
But someone made a comment, like, every time I would, like, come to, like, a different thing in Vegas that was just, like, incredible to look at, you could hear me just go, wow. And that was, like, every video. But that's, I had no words. All I could say was, wow, and stare. I'm that observant of a person where I just have to take it in and say, wow.
You were resonant with a certain drink you saw at a certain restaurant saying, oh, my goodness, that's me.
The ginger bitch.
That's the post you made. You pointed up to
I
it.
I think I
was
saw
like,
it on
"It's a ginger
Facebook. Yeah, I
bitch."
saw that.
Someone else commented on it, and they're like, there's another shot named after redheads, and like we all know it's the redheaded slut.
Oh.
But
Oh,
I was
didn't-
like,
You guys get a bad rap.
Right.
we do.
Oh, that's messed up.
All like we can get into it. Every single movie I see a villain, they're always redheaded.
Every single one?
That was it.
There's
Every
a
single.
lot of. It's a big
they're
majority.
either like
What about Jessica Rabbit?
Bullies.
they're either like platinum blonde or
Yeah, Jessica Rabbit was a weird exception.
Well, she was still the love interest. She wasn't the villain.
Right.
The femme fatale.
Yeah, but she's dating a rabbit, so really, how much of a winner am I here?
But
Now,
you know what?
you know.
Now you're just being self-deprecating. Okay.
Nice.
But yeah, Vegas was amazing. I got home like at midnight and had to go to a work party at MGM Grand the next day. So like you guys, I'm finally like all caught up
Yeah.
and I feel better. I don't sound sick anymore.
That sounds amazing.
I'm
man.
just.
I would have enjoyed. What was it, a week in Vegas? The whole week?
I did 6 days.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, that's a good amount of time.
It's still not enough. A lot of people like judged me and they said that's a very long time to be in Vegas, and I hear ya
yeah. Yeah.
because I think the 5th day I laid in bed all day. I was like, I'm
He's
done.
exhausted.
I'm partied out. I need to like recuperate now.
I would love to see a documentary of Nicole in Vegas. I
Seriously.
wish I was there with a
If
camera.
you were friends
film
with
it.
me on Snapchat,
Yeah,
you
you
would
would have.
have.
You would
Right.
you would have your documentary.
For real, to piece the Snapchats to get stories together. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it was incredible. I definitely suggest going there in this age group at this time, and don't wait till you're 40. You want to go when you're young and you can handle,
I'm old now.
because you lose track of time so easily.
You're
there.
not old, man.
I know,
Stop
man.
it.
There's no clocks. Like there was a lot of nights where we got home at like 6 in the morning, and I'm like, oh, it's pretty late. We should go to bed. And then I see the time, and it's like the sun's rising, and it's 7 a.m. And I'm like,
We're up.
well, let's take a nap and go again.
Let's do this again. Okay. Nice. All right. So yeah. All right. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to Vegas one of these days before I turn 40. Thanks for the advice.
Gotta.
You're like 12 years.
Right.
So now we got Miss Shayna at the height of her investigative journalism.
Oh, goodness.
That's the
So much to talk about.
So
Where you
much.
want to start at? Who's the king of R&B? I
Right.
told you to consider this.
And
before
who
you
is
came.
Jacquees?
I know who he is,
this?
but
They refer to him on Twitter as the king of karaoke.
He is. Oh my God.
Because all he
man-
does is cover other people's songs. Like that's how. I mean, he has his own body of work, but that's how he got popular is by covering other people's songs. And then he has that real popular spat with Ella May because he covered
Buddha.
Trip.
Oh, Trip. Yeah.
Trip.
you got to have a lot of balls to run up on Keith
Oh,
Sweat.
Keith
man.
Sweat.
To
Come
me,
on,
but
man.
Keith
Come
Sweat don't have the vocals.
But that's-
He don't.
He
That's-
wasn't even the king of R&B during his
He don't
time.
got the vocals,
That's
but
our
he
R&B
Keith Sweat.
uncle. That's our
Right.
R&B uncle. You can't just run up on,
You know,
on the. On
He's
your
mostly
eldest.
production and songwriting.
You know
like,
how
it's
many
off the hood.
people were conceived to Keith Sweat songs?
You know what, man? That's like running up on
Come on.
Babyface. Like you can't do it, man.
But
You gotta-
Babyface had vocals though.
you
I
gotta
mean,
pay
that's-
Babyface
Babyface has
homage.
vocals and he is a very talented songwriter.
But Keith Sweat, he got that emotion, just
He's always been a whiner to me. I just never was into him.
Hold up, you're diverting. Who is the king of
Oh,
R&B?
who is the? Yeah.
I can't say who the king
R. Kelly.
is.
That's what Dave Chappelle said. He says, "I'm sorry, y'all. The king is somebody who peed on somebody." Like,
I
it's
would
all
say
right.
he
Kelly.
was definitely 90s, maybe early 2000s.
Hmm.
He
R.
ruled
Kelly.
for a little bit.
Yes.
So do you think that there's? And I personally think I don't think there's one defined king. What I think
Yes,
is,
it depends on what you like.
I think each era
Like,
though
as
too.
far as who's most popular right now is Chris Brown.
Is that
You think so?
R&B?
For
Because he raps
R&B?
now, right?
He's
I mean-
more like pop.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you still have a lot of people that fly under the radar that have been in the game for a long time, but they're still touring and releasing music. Like you have Tank,
Yeah.
you
Sure.
have Anthony Hamilton, People Bryson.
Yeah.
He's been in the game for a long time. He just released an album maybe last year.
Maxwell releases something every 5 years.
Every 5 years for sure.
That's planned out, though. That's
He does.
planned out.
Yeah.
I don't think though it's hard to classify some of these artists nowadays though, because you got the trap soul. Now you had
you
it's
know.
like hybrids. So it's R&B, like traditional R&B. I don't think that even really truly exists right now.
It exists.
It's
but
just not on the airwaves.
but they're not as popular as they used to be, like maybe in the 2000s and the 90s.
I think BJ the Chicago Kid, he might be up there.
As far as his body of work
Yeah.
and his vocals, definitely, but he's not very popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what qualifies someone as being the king of R&B? What are some of the checks boxes you got to check?
You got to have a
Peeing on a
fan
girl.
base.
No.
You got to have a fan base. You know, you got to have the
Okay.
hits. You got to
How
have
many hits?
the credibility. Well, we don't know. I
Okay.
mean, it
They-
got to be at least more than 4.
I think they should judge the top R&B artists off of like how many children are conceived
It should be like a survey. Like, who did you listen
to their
when you're-
music.
Well,
The only mother in the room, Trey Songz was
Ooh,
Songz?
I could see that.
Trey
No,
Songz-
definitely.
the
Well, baby-
anticipation mixtape. I know I got pregnant
There was that one.
for a fact.
Well, I mean,
But
but
baby making music is not. It's just like a part of R&B.
yes,
it is. I agree.
Yeah, because I would make babies to EDM. There's EDM music that I would make
All right,
babies
now
to.
you got to leave. It was good seeing you. It was good seeing you.
You're too white for this. You got to go.
Oh my god! But you know what? This is a good discussion because first off, I didn't even know who Jacquees was until he came with this whole thing. Somebody's the king of R&B. How can you be the king of R&B and no one knows who you are? Maybe I'm just old.
It was a great publicity stunt. You know,
Oh,
most
for sure.
people know his name now.
For sure. But
I mean, I knew.
But then now they were saying like this is a very good thing because now you have like they was like, oh man, Jacquees made the Dream drop a 40-track album, and then now you have B2K going on tour.
I'm excited for that though. B2K.
Like with Omarion?
Yes.
Yeah.
No way.
It's what B2K, Lloyd, Chingy. Who else they got?
Ricky.
Pretty Ricky.
Yin
I
Yang
love
Twins.
Lloyd.
Yin Yang Twins. I might have to go and see that.
My girl tried to tell me, "You want to go see this?" I'm like, "Man, I don't want to see a
No.
bunch of middle-aged girls screaming, bro."
Dude, I'll
Right.
go with her.
I prefer Armarion's solo work though. more
Oh,
than-
Icebox?
Yeah.
I had to
The
get the
remix.
Kids Bop version
Oh,
because
God.
I hated listening when I worked at a daycare. I hated listening
The
to
remix
the
with
Wiggles.
Usher though was the best.
And I was like,
Yes.
oh, this Kid Bop version of Icebox will help me through the day.
Oh my God.
I hate kids.
It was
Kids
so
Bop.
bad.
Kids Pop.
I'm forced to listen to that.
Hey, when you're forced to listen to the Wiggles, Kids Bop is
That Baby Shark song.
saving you. No,
Every-
I don't want to talk about it. Let's not.
Oh, this is
No.
my nightmares.
My daughter played
I hate that.
She figured out how to link the iPad to a speaker that's hooked up with the amplifier.
Oh shoot.
So, you know, she was playing because she was in a Motown recital. So she's been listening to a lot of that. And then all of a sudden I hear, dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun, dun.
no.
I'm like, oh my
No.
God. Like, you too
I think it's very
old. Like,
convenient how the song starts off like that
Right.
too. Like,
Like-
it's
Like the
coming,
Jaws.
shit.
Like you were just singing the clean version of Sicko Mode. Like why is this in your repertoire?
So, well, kids listen to a lot of things. I listened to a lot of things when I was a kid. But, you know, so I think the general consensus here is not an easy question to answer.
It's definitely not
No.
So we got Cardi B and Offset.
Oh God. That
staged.
drama. You think it's staged?
It's 100% staged.
Okay, I was thinking about this on the way here. I don't know if Cardi B. I don't know if she created this persona before she blew up, like before she was, you know, brought on to hip hop and
Love and hip hop.
love and hip hop,
Yeah.
or if this is who she is. And it's it throws me off. I think she's adorable, and she's intimidating at the same time, which
She's
I love about her.
something
I
else.
would love to be that type of person as well. Maybe a little more like toned down, but I mean,
Cardi. She's.
I
she's
think
something
it's
else.
100% staged because everybody loves drama.
yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
he
Everybody loves
came on
drama.
stage and, you know, they know people are going to have their phones out and
Right.
recording all this, and then they're going to get views off
true.
of it. Like, everyone is going to benefit from whatever happened.
You got to ask
Yeah,
yourself
and he
this
didn't
question.
walk on the stage with just flowers in his hand. Like people
Right.
wheeled stuff
Yeah,
out.
that's true.
Like this was planned.
You got to ask yourself
Yeah.
this question. If this was a love and hip hop moment, this would be a great scene.
This would be an awesome scene.
So you got to think about that. I mean, I don't want to say straight up it's staged, but it's hard to like defy the
And-
evidence.
And then she dropped her video over the weekend too. So it's just like
yeah, I heard she
she's
was
constantly-
naked in it.
I watched it one time. It's a good video. I don't like videos that make me feel poor, so I only watched it one time, and
That's
I'm
all
only
her
gonna watch it.
videos.
I'm only gonna watch it one time.
I'm surprised it wasn't like a disclaimer saying like, "Hey, it's gonna be naked
It's gonna
bodies
be
and
titties in
right.
here. And like I
Yeah.
just pulled it up on YouTube. Like, wait a minute, it's titties.
Right. All the little kids like, "Mama, what's this?" But don't worry about it.
That's a dark subject. The world, man, the internet is a dark place for a young kid.
It's
For
very-
real.
It's a very
The
dark
stuff
place.
that you're exposed to nowadays, my God.
But yeah, I think that's like staged.
I remember watching BET Uncut and I was like, "Oh no, I can't be watching this."
Wait.
Back in the day.
Wait. What's your favorite BET Uncut song?
Oh shoot, what was the one?
I got a favorite video. I don't know. I wasn't listening to the songs.
It was a video like everybody. It was like an outside pool party.
Yeah, you gotta be more specific.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. I can't remember. I gotta find
My
it.
You think about it.
Right.
Is Wax a Million on the floor.
Why are you whispering?
Right. Why you whispering right and we can all hear you?
We can hear you.
Wax a Million on the
find it.
floor. That's my favorite BET Uncut song and video.
Okay. All right. So we got Big Crit's final EP of the year. What was it called? What was it called? Shayna, did you get it?
No.
You didn't get it?
I thought
Tri-
we talked about this last time.
You dropped another one, Trifecta.
So yeah, I didn't listen to it.
Okay. All right. So what else we got in hip hop? We got some other things. I know we do.
21 Savage's album came out on Friday, and I didn't listen to the whole thing because He has like the dopest. Well, J. Cole has been killing his features this year.
Yeah, I heard J. Cole's feature was great.
It was great. So I haven't got past the first song because it's on the first song. I don't like when like they have the album and just the album title and they don't list who's featured. Like I want to skip songs. I don't want to have to listen to the whole song to know who's featured.
I actually like that because that's the element of surprise.
I don't want to be surprised with 21 Savage.
My thing with Travis Scott was I was like, man, I don't know who he's gonna collaborate with next. Elton John. I just want to be surprised, and it was a good surprise when I listened to Astro
Speaking of Travis Scott, how you feel about Super Bowl?
You know what?
I think it's up to him.
Let him do what he needs to do. I mean, I don't care what's going on. I mean,
it's up to him.
It truly is. Like, what do you think? You think they should protest it?
If you see everybody has gotten on the same page and you want to be the one nigga that goes against all the other niggas,
yeah.
Like,
maybe
why
he
do you
doesn't
want
look
to
at it
be
like
that? Why do you want to be that one? He probably doesn't.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't. He probably views himself as different or somebody that's not affected by what everyone else is protesting. And that's a problem.
I've heard him talk about race in his songs. It's been really sly, but I've heard him talk
about it in interviews too, and I didn't agree with his views at all.
So
I think it's up to him.
It is a choice that must be made on his own account. I think that I know the man, he wants to get his bag. Can't stop anybody from getting their bag.
Well, he's always gonna get a bag. He's Travis Scott. I mean, he's always gonna get a bag. He's practically a Kardashian now. They always get bags.
But again, so should we hold the artists to a different standard than the athletes themselves? Why don't we just say all black athletes, if you standing with the cause or you against this, why don't you step out as well?
They gotta eat.
Basically, in the NFL, they don't pay a lot of money, and they're not in the league very long either.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, NFLs don't last long. It's a very complicated subject. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at him if he didn't do it. If he did do it, I'd be like, well, it's his decision.
Right. It's tough.
We're supposed to be protesting it anyway.
Right. We shouldn't be watching it.
Well, I don't, but
I don't watch sports in general, to be honest. I mean, I like it when the Spartans win, but you know.
Yeah.
I work for ex-athletes, and football's brought up all day long.
Yeah.
And I'm just like not there for it. I'm like, okay.
So does that cap it off? Any new releases? Okay, go ahead. Any new releases or?
Yeah, I've been listening to. I just listened to that one song on 21 Savage. I don't like 21 Savage.
I like it when he's featured on a Travis Scott song, but I just like him featured.
Yeah, I mean he has a couple songs, like he has Bank Account, but it's so remedial. Like, like I'll listen to the clean version of the song in front of my daughter, and she knew the song by like halfway through the song, because he be like, how many hoes you got? A lot. How many others you got? A lot. So like about halfway through it, she like, a lot.
It's like,
a lot.
It's like it's the ABC version of rap. It's just like easy to follow.
That had its place when we were growing up, though. You know, the Laffy Taffies, the Lean With It, Rock With It. You know, it had its
I just need
place.
something with some substance, though. I'm sick of just all this mumble rap, this
I
trash.
understand, man. This is what the kids are listening to. You got to
The
understand.
kids are idiots, though.
When we were kids,
we were kids, idiots too as kids.
We listened to idiotic songs too, and our parents were like, "What are these kids doing?" You know what happens.
I think I'm just getting that old man syndrome, like, get off my line, long guy. Like, I'm just.
I mean, I went
That's
through
what's
that
happening.
emo phase where a lot of the songs I listened to was like about death and being unhappy with yourself.
Yeah,
Which,
I mean, emo is different though.
if my kids were to listen to that, I'd be like, "You
wrong?
stupid! Stop listening to this!
That's
Like,
that
what's
teen
wrong with
angst.
you?
That's that,
Why are you so angsty?" But I get it. I mean, I was angsty growing up. I was just angry for existing, apparently.
No, you weren't. You just listened to people who were angry for existing.
I don't know. You saw me the other day. I was pretty cynical about everything.
Look, I want to give a quick plug. My friend, he's a great rapper from the great city of Detroit, Anwar Sadat, Sadot. He dropped a new album called Clarity. It's available on all streaming services. It's a pretty solid album. One song on there that I put the spotlight on is called Child Support. It's not what you think it's about. It's really not. It's really about how we observe the relationships between our mothers and fathers or whoever's in the household and how that shapes us with the relationships we have today.
Oh, it's complex.
Yeah,
like
it's
child support.
Yeah, it's a very good song, Child Support. I say check it out. And Mary Poppins, which is a great single. Yeah, check him out, Anwar Sadat.
He's a very nice guy also.
He is a nice guy. Shayna met him.
Cool. So I had to listen to that. So send that to me. Send me a link. I don't know how you do it, but
Absolutely.
make that happen.
Is there anything else?
No.
It's on
Okay.
you. It's on to you.
I've been feeling great, man. I mean, let me just mention one thing. I'm no longer reluctant movie buff.
What?
I'm now movie buff hustler.
Oh my
Movie
God.
This has
buff.
been a very big
Movie
deal for
buff
the
hustler.
last
No,
4
this is a
days.
good. This is a big deal. It's a big
We
deal.
emailed about it. That's how big.
So
of a deal it
why did
was.
you decide to
So
change?
listen,
I'm
man.
definitely judging you.
Here's the thing, man. I call myself reluctant because it's a deep thing behind it. I don't want to go too much into it, but when I was a young kid, I knew a lot about movies, like directors and writers' names and stuff. That was kind of uncanny and weird. And I kind of got a little teased for it, so I kind of like held back throughout the years what I knew about movies until I went to college, and I met other cinephiles, and I knew what a cinephile was. So that's where the whole reluctant thing came from in my Instagram name. But I just realized, I'm not reluctant about it.
No, it's time for you to own it.
Own it.
So I'm movie buff hustler now with an A at the end. I just changed my name. That's all I did, and I think I might start writing blogs, man.
Yeah, you got to get your website going, man. I can help you out with the I don't know, get a Squarespace or something account,
Well, I was gonna
I
go
got
on
you.
WordPress, but I just feel like there's a lot of things I want to write about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing a lot, writing. But I want to talk about 2 movies I saw and a theory I got.
I'm hoping we got the same movies that we saw. I saw a couple movies as well.
So I saw Roma. I mean, people saw it on Netflix. I saw it like at the Main Art Theater, and it's pretty good, man. I can see why it's an Oscar contender. Black and white period film, Mexico City. It's in Mexico during like political strife. It's pretty good, man. It's about a housemaid that cares for a middle class family who's going through tough things. The mother and father are fighting. I'd say check it out.
Okay.
Check it out. It's a great coming of age movie. I saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which was awesome.
That was
I'm really
amazing.
jealous.
That was an amazing movie.
I didn't expect to like it, but I did, man. So if you don't know the story, Miles Morales, he's a black Spider-Man.
Who voices him?
I think it's Shameik Moore from
Shamik
Dope.
Moore.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yes, he does a great job voicing him. So he gets bit by a radioactive spider, but he realizes like he's the Spider-Man in his dimension, but he's not the only Spider-Man in the universe.
Which Marvel's kind of just expanding on all the way right now, even with all the other movies. Like there are
Right.
so many different universes and dimensions, and they're all kind of intertwining. So I think this was a perfect opportunity to do Into the Spider-Verse, where there's all these different Spider-Men in different dimensions. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No. That was good. You mentioned that. So that ties into what I'm saying. He catches the Peter Parker in his dimension trying to beat Kingpin from like launching this time-space continuum. Yeah. So when that happens, of course, all the other Spider-Men come into his dimension, and he has to stop Kingpin. But he's also teamed up with a middle-aged, burnt-out, divorced Peter Parker, which is a hilarious dynamic, and it's just an all-around fun movie, man. Like the action sequences unfold like a video game. There's meta humor in it.
Yeah.
It's like a kid-friendly Deadpool with his humor.
I can definitely see that.
You saw it?
I saw it. I like the fact too that it was the development of the character, Miles' character, was it was amazing to see, because I thought it was just gonna be a little bit focused on him, but it was actually the whole movie was about him and his almost like a coming of age, coming into the Spider-Man.
His family relationships were great too.
They were, and I loved how all of them, regardless of the universe, they dealt with the loss of someone. Right, it kind of just the same storyline throughout the various universes.
Aunt May's in it.
Oh, yep.
Aunt May's holding it down.
Oh yeah, and
Yep.
Gwen Stacy is Spider-Man. I think I read in
Yeah.
a different dimension as well.
Yeah, it's
they
kind
have
of a
the-
twist in the movie, but thanks for blowing that up. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
I just read it on the internet. I haven't seen it. I'm just
No, she is in it. I'm just joking with you.
The little Porky
There's
Pig
a little-
Spider-Man, that was hilarious.
yeah.
But the dimension that Miles Morales lives in is funny because there's a 4th Chance the Rapper album. He has the number 4 on his hat. It's the same album cover. There's a Shaun of the Dead sequel, and the album cover for The Weeknd's Kissland is the same as Starboy. I don't know. You just notice certain posters and
I didn't
stuff that's
notice that.
funny. Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely highly recommend everyone go see that one. I came in with low expectations. I was like, all right, it'll be okay. I'm sure it's like a fun little kids
No,
flick. But it was awesome.
every parent that has taken their kid so far is
Yeah.
like, oh my god, that movie was actually like amazing.
And the soundtrack was amazing. Just
Oh, don't get me started. So I told Anthony this. I got very emotional emotional over Swally and Post Malone's song.
Oh, yeah.
Sunflower.
I'm tired of that song.
I am too.
I'm
Like, I hit that point.
tired. My daughter listens to that song because she saw the movie without me. It's okay. But yeah, she
movie?
plays that song like all the time. I'm like, oh my God.
The first like few times I heard it, I
cried?
physically cried. Like just driving in my car, and I'm like, why is Post Malone out of everybody making me cry right now?
Post Malone, yeah.
Like I'm not a huge supporter of him. I think he's
a tool.
I'm
asking.
Said it with such vigor.
No,
and-
I don't want to say he's a tool. I just think he's like, he kind of reminds me of the emo music I would listen to when I was in high school. And I think like it's just a more like advanced defined version.
Yeah.
Kind of like Extension. Like,
okay.
Yeah,
like
it's
their
emo
music
rap.
is very
Yeah.
like sad and just like it makes you feel like these very like terrible things that honestly a lot of people shouldn't feel.
I mean, that's another segment of rap. It's emo rap now. It's a new genre.
Yeah, that scares
It
me.
does exist.
Like,
It does exist, yeah.
so does
But-
well,
Hey guys, I got a theory here, and I need the bell for this.
Oh.
I know you guys have been looking at me strange with some of the things I've said on here, but listen, man.
I mean, when is that
Yes.
different from any other time?
Listen, I got a question to all y'all in the room and the people listening. I don't want to admit this, but I think my man's Will Smith done fell off.
Oh, with that little ponytail he had?
I mean, in general, bro.
Oh.
Like, listen, I love Will Smith. I think he's a great action star, a great movie star, but I mean, we're seeing a decline here, and I want to know, am I the only one?
Is it okay? No, is
Wait,
it
what?
because he's doing
What is-
like I know he's doing like YouTube videos now and
Instagram.
But
gotta see them.
that's cool.
his
I'm talking
kids,
about movies.
Oh, movies.
I need to see.
Well,
I
need
need to
you
see
to
those
oh,
make
the
next.
your-
genie. Okay, you have to be more. I
need
saw
you to
it.
make your case.
Right.
So they released a poster for Aladdin coming up, and Will Smith plays the genie,
Right, with that-
which
that
I
pony.
actually thought was a good choice. I feel like he can live up to Robin Williams.
Yeah.
But the
Animated though.
The picture of him as the genie kind of was just
But
like,
what was everyone expecting?
exactly.
Like, what was
Seriously.
everyone
It just-
expecting?
I mean,
Man,
You have to give it a chance, I guess. You
Right.
can't just like
Let's-
base it
exactly.
off the cover of.
Like, what would they prefer? Like,
Let's
for
see it
him to
first.
look like the genie on
And he's-
Broadway? Because the genie on Broadway is bald.
You got to
Right.
think about it. He's always been a family-based character for the most part. Like, you would introduce your kids to Bad Boys. It's not a big deal. He was
Bad
always
Boys ain't really
Men
for
in Black.
kids.
Like I watched that as a
Men in Black is
child.
fine, yeah.
Like
Yeah, Men in Black.
he doesn't do anything too crazy and too R-rated.
listen,
I mean-
man. I mean, he has, but
But first off, Will Smith, I would never put him as like a great serious actor. Like, I'm not
No.
putting him
Well,
up there with
yeah.
a
Once upon a
Denzel.
time,
He's
though,
never
once
gonna
upon a
get an
time, you would.
Oscar.
or he's not up there with a Sidney Poitier or Denzel. He's
Man,
he's solid.
Have we
as-
forgot Ali?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
that's yeah.
Nah, man. There's Ali.
I mean,
there's
he's
7
solid.
pounds. There's I Am
I
Legend.
didn't like 7 pounds,
There's,
but that's
there's
Well-
Pursuit of
that's-
Happiness.
Okay, so maybe like he just was in a point where he was trying for an Oscar, and now he's at this age where he's like,
Listen,
Right.
let me
Just-
make
you
my
know
case.
what? I
Trying
just
to make
want to
some money.
have my
You gotta let me
family
make my
make
case
them
here.
money. Sorry.
Make your case.
I need you to make your case for how he fell off.
Right, because I need to see
me,
evidence.
Yeah.
To me, man, I mean, listen, man. There's from 2013 on. There's After Earth, Winter's Tale.
Oh, don't get me
Focus-
started on him
No,
and
wait.
Winter's
You
Tale.
gotta
That was
let me
bad.
go. You gotta let me
Sorry.
go. Focus was solid. Focus was solid. Concussion, which tell the truth.
It
Tell
would
the
have been a
truth.
great movie with another actor.
Right, get a
Preferably
actually
an African actor.
There's Suicide Squad. Haven't seen it. Don't want to see it.
Oh, that
I-
Netflix movie.
I've heard mixed reviews.
I
It's
like
not on
Bright.
Netflix. I think it's on Hulu.
No.
I like Bright.
No, oh, Bright.
I like Bright.
Well, I was gonna get to that.
Oh.
Collateral Beauty, which I heard was bad. Bright, which I heard was okay. And now we got Aladdin. I mean, listen, man.
you haven't seen it though.
We need a Bad Boys 3.
No,
I
we
mean,
don't.
We
didn't need
we
Bad
we
Boys
That's
need
in the
something-
works though
We
too.
need a great action
Bad
comedy.
Boys 2 was terrible.
Yeah,
we
they
don't
didn't
need a
need
3.
Bad Boys 2 was not terrible.
How old
I
were
mean,
you when it came out?
It don't matter.
How old?
Right.
Wait, I need to know.
I love it
Like,
nowadays.
Right.
I look
I
back
need
at
to
it since.
know.
I look back
That's
at
true.
it since. Listen, man, we need a great action comedy with Will Smith. We don't even need Martin Lawrence. We don't even need the Bad Boys 3. We just need a great action comedy with Will Smith because I don't know, man.
What was Bright?
I don't think
been
he's
in some
ever.
duds, man.
He
What was
has.
Bright?
Okay, Winter's
You didn't
Tale
even
was
see
terrible.
Listen, man, this is just how I feel.
But did you see Bright though?
It doesn't matter.
But it's Will
Oh,
Smith.
you
He's
gotta
just
watch it,
like,
You
though.
gotta watch it to make your case.
Okay, Adam Sandler was in flops. Jim Carrey was in flops, and I don't mean to use like these terrible white actors in this genre, but they were all great actors at one point. You would love Billy Madison or whatever Adam Sandler came out, anything Jim Carrey came out with, and then they went through a period where it was just flop after flop after flop.
I'm not saying he's no longer great.
And with
He's
the
still great.
time, with the day and time, what I'm saying now though is a lot of people are really into. This makes me think of that South Park episode where they're like the member berries.
Yeah.
They're bringing back things from the 90s to make all people our age feel nostalgia and, want to pay money to go do that again. True. That's why, like, Disney's waiting so long to, like, release. Like, they waited forever to do The Incredibles 2. They know that us as an audience are going to go back and pay money to do all those things. And Will Smith is benefiting off of that right now because he's not only using a Disney movie that was very popular for our generation, he was also popular in our generation with Fresh Prince. And, he's never going to be an Oscar-winning actor, in my opinion. But
I disagree.
I will put it this way.
But he's memorable.
Sometimes you can't blame the actor. You just got to blame the script. Sometimes it's a horrible
the
script.
actor picks the script.
But sometimes, if you get an opportunity to
Well, the script picks them, and then they pick
Right.
if they want it.
I love 7 Pounds. You know what I mean? Like,
Is that the movie where he killed himself with a
yeah, he like
a
gave all of
stingray?
his organs to everybody.
I didn't
and
like that.
I didn't
I did not
either.
care for 7 pounds at all.
That was
I
depressing.
cared
And
for
it
the
was
emotion behind
clearly-
it.
and it was clearly Oscar bait.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but it was good Oscar bait to me. I felt like
He has good
I
Oscar
feel like
bait. He just doesn't.
He has good Oscar bait. I feel like he was going somewhere there, and then he kind of went over the top with concussion. And I'm like, you got to find that right balance. I want Will Smith to find that right balance with the dramatic stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about Winter's Tale. I do want to talk about this because this is
seen
the worst.
It was garbage, man.
Didn't
This
see
was
it.
the worst movie theater experience I've ever had. I paid for Winter's Tale because Colin Farrell was in it and his bushy eyebrows are gorgeous. And I didn't know Will Smith was in the movie before I saw
It's
it.
like a cameo role, you know.
Yeah.
He plays the devil out of everybody in this movie, and you don't really understand. I don't care about ruining this movie because it's a terrible
Go ahead,
movie.
man.
Yeah, I'll never watch it.
Don't.
Yeah.
So you get Will Smith pretending to be the devil at some point, talking to this guy who's hunting down Colin Farrell, and you're just like, what the fuck is this movie?
Yeah.
I wasted $10.
It's a lot of money.
I mean, Magic Mike is 10 times more worth it at this point.
But you listed After Earth. I enjoyed that movie. I didn't think it was as bad as the critics said it was.
This is just, Anthony's subjective opinion. I'm just saying, man. I want to see Will Smith in just that great all-around blockbuster action movie.
I liked him in A Fishtails.
Shark Tale.
Shark Tale, sorry.
And he's going back to that.
Worked at a
He's going back to that kind of animated thing with Spies in Disguise. It looks promising. It looks funny, but I still don't know.
But I don't think you can cast your judgment because I cast my judgments on all live-action remakes, and some of them turn out to be pretty good.
I think Disney's done great so far. I'll be honest. I've watched
see.
Beauty and the Beast more times than adults should.
Well, I'll see with Lion King. I'll wait
And
till.
I enjoyed the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
And that was their first technical live action film where they recreated it in this new version, and it did really well. So then they did Beauty and the Beast, and we're all hoping for Lion King to just because Lion King was so great animated on its own. That is one of the best Disney movies you can ever
It's got
see.
Beyonce.
Yeah, and now they're kind
But
of like
she's not a good voice actress.
she's Beyonce. Oh,
I-
she's her
Has
voice.
she
What
voiced
else
anything
did
else?
she-
Yes,
Yeah.
she has.
She has done
what
something
is
She
else.
has done voice where I can't
Oh,
remember.
it was this child
That fairy movie.
Yes,
It's a
and
fairy-
Colin Farrell wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a fairy movie, and I was like, she can't eat. Like, you
She
can't
played
even see her face.
and she played the queen in this movie too, and she just didn't convey it like
And
she
I
does
love
in
Beyonce.
person.
Yeah, she
but
just stick to singing.
she's not a good voice actress in my opinion.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. She was in Gold Member too, so that kind of makes me question her.
Yeah, that was Austin
as an
Powers,
actor.
though. That was
she
Austin
did
Powers,
really
though.
great in Dreamgirls. Like I love Dreamgirls.
She didn't have a lot of
but
lines.
She didn't. Did anyone see?
Let's stay on topic, folks.
Did anyone
Listen,
see?
Listen.
We are saying we don't agree with
Right.
it.
I get it, and I'm used to it. But the closing statement is, I love Will Smith. I just want to see the all-around Will Smith blockbuster again.
They're going to reboot, I bet you any money. There's going to be like a reunion or something for Fresh Prince at one point.
I mean,
Uncle
they're doing.
Phil dies.
Can you do it without James Avery?
They're
Right, you
doing
need
a
James
new
Avery.
thing.
Well, they could
with,
and just make it like a dedication to him.
They're doing a new thing with Men in Black with Tessa Thompson and
saw
Chris
that.
Hemsworth. But listen, man, I want to say this. Shout out to RBG, who made it through the cancer thing. Is that what your Instagram is based off of?
No, absolutely not.
RBG.
Drew
Red,
Frader.
black, and green, not the
Oh.
Supreme Court justice.
Oh, I never
Frader against
understood. I thought it was a joke or something.
No, definitely no.
The trailer for the new movie based off her On the Basis of Sex is hilarious because it's a little corny.
Yeah.
Because she's in the justice room and the judge is like, the word woman is never listed in the Constitution. And the actress is British, but she's playing American. She's like, neither is the word freedom, Your Honor. And you can hear the Scottishness
Your
come
Honor.
out, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah. That's rough.
Great.
Did anyone? I have to ask. Did anyone see Bird Box?
I
on Netflix?
did.
My roommate is
God.
like
I
begging me to watch it
did.
right now.
No, Sandra Bullock.
I didn't know I just learned about it last night.
I did.
She's good. I mean, she did a good job.
I love
She
her.
was one of the people who I didn't really care for, but I definitely now appreciate her
Yeah.
her skills. Like, she's good.
She's very.
That was a good movie.
She plays a very good motherly role.
Yeah.
She
does.
definitely fits into it really well. Like, I hated her in Miss Congeniality.
Yeah,
and
What up, man? I'm black, and I like that movie.
What does that? What
What
does
is
that?
that? What is that?
No,
Yeah.
because it's never mind.
What-
Go ahead. Go ahead. Say what you about to say.
You could have said,
with
I
nothing.
have a penis.
Or I'm
and
a
I
man
didn't
and
like
I
it.
like Miss Congeniality.
Right.
That
would have been a
would've-
better one.
I
if it was
do
a man.
I wasn't
like
trying to
her.
disrespect
I do like her like '90s like comedy / like not too serious.
Oh,
roles.
Practical
like, I loved
Magic was
I
so
loved
good.
her
That was a
in
good one.
Speed. I like Miss
Yeah.
Congeniality. The one role that I don't like is The Blind Side.
Oh, Blindside is trash. It's okay.
She did not do a good job, and I don't like how they utilize like
I
Tim
don't like the story.
McGraw and
Yeah.
just didn't.
Yeah, I did
didn't
not
like
like. I'm
it.
like I don't like this movie.
I feel like they exaggerated the
Like
actual
her,
life.
like
right.
The
oh, they definitely
southernness of
did.
them.
They definitely
and-
did. He said that affected his career.
Yeah.
The movie.
Well,
Oh my
sure
God.
fucking did.
But yeah, I'm telling you. All right, so Bird Box, for those who don't know, it's almost like
A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place, but
Yes.
you can't see.
You
as
can't
opposed to-
look them in the eye.
Yeah, you can't look them in the eye as opposed to speaking. But it was good. It was definitely one of the better Netflix movies I've seen in a while, and I've seen some bad ones. Definitely check it out.
Like I was trying to explain it, and maybe I'm not a good summarizer of movies.
Yeah.
They was like, I was explaining to my friends. I said, that movie sounds stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, all horror movies sound stupid. My roommate was laughing at her boyfriend because he rationalizes every single horror movie, and she's like, "You just can't do this with horror movies."
Right.
Because the possibilities of these things happening in real life are so slim to none.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to shut up, laugh at what's impossible,
Yep.
and, have yourself a scare. Give yourself
Like
something.
I like Happy Death Day.
Oh,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
making a sequel
Yeah.
for that,
I
which
like and
surprised
that's
me.
like that's something that like will literally never happen.
Sure.
But I
But
actually
it
enjoyed
was a
that
good
movie.
concept. It was different. You have to
Yeah.
wake up the same day. Like, we're getting really into these horror type of scenarios where, you're stuck living in different dimensions, or you're stuck repeating something for, a long time, because that
Right.
is a big fear for humans.
That is.
I recently just watched The Good Place on Netflix. I watched the whole two
I didn't
seasons.
see that one.
So I'll give you the premise. There's a good place and there's a bad place.
Mm-hmm.
And Kristen Bell ends up in the good place, and they had made a mistake.
Oh.
They thought she was somebody else and sent her there, but really they kind of give you a background on Kristen Bell, and everything she has done in her life kind of warrants her to be to the bad place. So the whole topic of this TV show is what's morally acceptable to make you end up in heaven, and what's morally acceptable that's going to, send you to hell. It really does make you question, like, what are we doing right? What's going to get us to a higher place, if that even exists? It's such a lighthearted comedy but it does have such serious undertones, and it's just, I 100% recommend like watching it and kind of just like dissecting it. You would really like it. I don't want to ruin it for you, but it was awesome.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, I think a lot of horror movies, they're either apocalyptic in nature, and I think that's what Bird Box was. It was apocalyptic thing where, essentially there was this outbreak, not necessarily an outbreak, but if people looked into, or if they saw this figure, they would commit suicide.
And it had a lot of stars in it.
That sounds
It
a
had a
lot
ton
like.
of stars.
So the premise kind of sounds like to me that one with Mark Wahlberg and Zoe Deschanel, The Happening, where like
it was
the
kinda
air
right.
in the
happening.
trees
Yeah, like
was
the
like
fog
making
or-
them commit suicide, and
Yeah, I can see that.
That
So I guess
kinda
they
sounds
took
like
some,
that.
It took some.
I was so disappointed in that movie.
that was
Oh,
terrible.
yeah.
I actually saw that at the movie.
People are like, explain the movies to me. I'm like, well, there's some air and it makes the trees blow, and then the people commit suicide unwillingly.
So I guess that was the same exact premise.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. that's uncreative.
Sorry, I
This
didn't mean to
movie
ruin
was
it for
better,
you.
but this movie's actually way better.
Yeah, I agree.
If
It's
it
way
has like more
it's
of
better
like
executed.
yeah, if it has
than
more
the,
backgrounds, like character
The Happening.
stories, like The
Yeah.
Happening didn't have a whole lot of that.
Yeah, but that was a good. So definitely check that out. Another one, the Mowgli. Did y'all see that?
I fell asleep
That one on Netflix.
Pretty
What's the
much
difference
Jungle.
Okay, is
between that
it
and
better
Jungle
than
Book?
It's a
Jungle
Jungle
Book?
Book spinoff. It's not better than Jungle Book.
Okay, then
I'll
I'm not
just say
gonna
that.
watch.
I'm like,
it.
what's the difference?
Not much.
I think Netflix
was
is
just-
trying to like, because I think Disney's planning on coming up with their own streaming system,
Oh yeah.
which
okay.
is going to affect how it plays on Netflix.
Oh.
I'm sure. So I'm pretty sure Netflix is trying to make their own brand
Yeah.
of Disney-related films, not
So-
necessarily Disney films.
So how is
but-
that not copyright infringement though?
The Jungle Book is not owned
Well,
by
like,
Disney.
and they
Yeah,
use the
that's- yeah.
character. Mowgli's not owned by Disney. Mowgli's owned from whoever wrote
Wrote it,
the
yeah.
book about Jungle Book.
I think how long does a copyright last? Is it like 100 years or something
think
like
so.
that? Like once 100 years has passed, you can do whatever you want.
You so quiet right now.
Right, what's going on?
Yeah,
being
you always got your
reflective
2
right now.
cents.
I'm just putting myself in a corner. I've said too much.
What do you mean?
I crossed the line.
Wait, what do you mean?
You want to talk about crossing line? We can tell. I told my boyfriend about the Wakanda Forever thing.
Oh,
Wait, what's wrong? Like, so what's
He yelled at me.
you crossed the line where? When?
nothing. No, never mind. What'd you tell your?
With that whole Will Smith thing.
No,
Right,
it was
bringing
something
up
else.
Will Smith as a bad actor.
Mowgli was directed by Andy Serkis, who plays Gollum. It was the director good?
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
I'm not saying it's bad. I haven't seen it.
I fell asleep
Netflix
on it.
might rock like their version of Disney.
Netflix has a lot of duds.
They do.
They have a
put
lot
out too
of
much.
They have a lot of good one-hit wonders, and then they have the duds.
They just put out too much content.
They do.
I think they're going to be their demise at some point because it's excessive.
I think their demise is gonna come with everyone else, with everybody having their own.
Yeah, when Disney
Like,
picks
when
up their own
streaming
streaming.
Because if I can stream like all the Disney movies like ever
Like, what do I need?
for $10 a month, I have a kid. Like right
Yep.
now, we
Yeah.
go to the library and get the movies.
Yeah.
But
Forget about libraries.
libraries are lit. But like if they have that, then I will pay for that.
I feel you.
Like all of the
It adds
Parent
up. Like
Trap, the first
eventually,
one.
like I don't pay for cable. I just use streaming systems. I have
Yeah.
Hulu and Netflix, and I did HBO Go for a bit, but that was $15.99 a month. So eventually, my bill ended up being a cable bill to end with.
true.
So I think we're eventually going to cross over into this era where you're paying, $10 a month for this channel,
Yeah.
$17 per month for this channel. Like, cable is going to become obsolete at some
Oh
point.
yeah, for sure. It's
I
already
am
in there.
baking on it. Like, I'm very nervous to buy Blu-ray DVDs because, at some point they're going to be obsolete.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've purchased movies like through Amazon.
But I just
Like,
feel like
and then they're uploaded and I can watch it when I watch Amazon Prime.
yeah, because I use pretty much all of them. But my issue is that there's too many things to choose from, and everyone like if you want to see a series, you have to subscribe to this. And I'm like, I don't want to pay another $15, $20 on top of what
Right.
I'm already
It all
paying.
adds up at the end of the day.
Right.
But that's how they're making more money off of us now.
Okay. So I guess we got to wrap this up, you all. What are some final thoughts from this conversation that we had today?
I missed you guys. It was
Aw.
really
For
nice
real.
to talk.
For real.
Missed you too.
I know. I feel like I haven't even seen Anthony at work, and I finally showed up for like 3 days and talked to him for a bit. We got to sit next to each other. He called me ignorant at one point. It was awesome. He told me the Wakanda Forever story. Apparently, I was after the one drunken recording I decided to do.
We were walking up and down Main Street, and she kept screaming "Wakanda Forever."
I
give you
love
looks.
Black Panther. That's
Me
the only
too.
reason. I asked for a T-shirt that said Wakanda Forever for Christmas, and I got told no multiple times.
Well, I will say Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays. I'm excited for the new year. We have another show prior to that, but it's going to be a good 2019 for sure.
Yeah. Happy Merry Christmas and all that.
Yeah.
That's been another great episode of Can We Talk. Please like and share. Anthony, what happened? What's going on?
No, it's all right, man. I think I crossed the line with the miscongeniality comment.
Oh no, I
too
wasn't
much
that
into
mad.
I didn't want to
The
put.
black people.
I didn't want to say it like that.
No,
We did all jump on them. Like, what? Like, what does that have to do with anything?
I'm like, you mean penises don't like miscongeniality?
Right.
Because I know that.
We say things sometimes. It's all right. Wasn't a big deal.
You gotta chill. Don't get stuck in that.
For real.
I
It
don't.
was very noticeable.
I
I don't
just-
want you to feel that way.
I just take a moment to myself when I need to think about something I said. That's all.
No, but that was a cool conversation. I had a lot of fun.
Y'all
I'm glad I
done
got to
shopping?
Come back this time.